Students, today the topic of discussion is the types of the transistors, types of the BJTs, and those are the NPN transistors and the PNP transistors. So first of all, we will discuss the NPN transistor. So basically NPN transistor, as from its name, it is basically a transistor having three terminals, and these three terminals are the base, emitter and the collector, and it is a three-layer device. Why it is the three-layer device? Because PNP or NPN. As we are discussing the NPN, so NPN. So there are basically the three layers. That's why it is known as a three-layer device. And it can function it as a switch as well as an amplifier. So we can use an NPN transistor as a switch as well as we can use it as an amplifier, and we will discuss it later how we can use it. So first of all, we will see the NPN transistor configuration. Here you see basically this is NPN transistor. Here NPN, where this N is the emitter, this P is the base, and this N is the collector. Now second thing is this, always remember this, here the emitter base junction, basically if you see this is the common base configuration. So in this case basically the emitter base junction, that is forward biased, and the collector base junction is always reverse biased. Here you see that this N is connected with the negative supply, and here this collector is, this N is connected with the positive terminal of the supply. Here the voltage between emitter and base, that voltage is known as VBE. That is, it is known as the VBE, and this VBE is fixed. Why this is fixed? Because as we know, when a diode is forward biased, then it can only conduct the current when, if it is a silicon diode, then it must be greater than that the threshold voltage must be greater than that of the 0.7 volt. So that's why we say this, here the VBE is equal to 0.7 volt, and here the supply that is present here, this is basically between the collector and the base. That's why this is known as VCB, that it is the voltage between collector and the base. This is the symbol of NPN transistor. Here you see that the current at base, the current is entering into the transistor, and here at the collector again the current is entering into the transistor, while at the emitter terminal the current is going out from the transistor. So this is the basic thing that tells us, is this the NPN transistor or PNP transistor? That is the direction of current. So this direction of current tells us about the NPN transistor, and always remember this, in case of NPN transistor the current comes out from the emitter, or you may say the current comes out from the transistor. Here you see this, the voltage between collector and base, that is known as VCB. The voltage between collector and emitter, that is known as VCE, and the voltage between base and emitter, that is known as VB. Here one thing, if you see the signs are very small, so see it carefully, that here the upper terminal is positive and the lower is negative. From here you see this VCE, here C is earlier, C is coming first and E is coming later. So this C is positive and this emitter is negative. That's why here positive sign at collector, here is positive sign, and here is negative sign. Now see this is VB. So base is coming first, so that's why base is positive and emitter is negative. Now here VCB, collector is coming first and base is coming later. So C is positive and B is negative in this case. And also we know that IE is equal to IB plus IC, where the IB is very small in magnitude. So the arrow defines the emitter and conventional current flow, that is out for a bipolar NPN transistor. So this is basically the configuration of an NPN transistor. So here is the all the summarizes here that I have told earlier, that is, so the voltage between the base and emitter, that is the VB, is positive at the base and negative at the emitter, because for an NPN transistor the base terminal is always positive with respect to the emitter. Also the collector supply voltage is positive with respect to the emitter, that is VCE. So for a bipolar NPN transistor, to conduct the collector current is always more positive with respect to both the base and the emitter. And here one thing more, that it must be positive because we are taking the output at the collector terminal, that's why it must be positive here. Then the voltage sources are connected to an NPN transistor, that is shown in this. Here you see this is basically an NPN transistor, and here we are having the voltage sources that we are connecting. So let's suppose that between the base and the emitter we are connecting a supply that is known as VB, and here we are connecting a supply that is between IC and that is between collector and emitter, and that is the VCC. And basically this VCC, it is the main voltage that derives the whole circuit. So now see what will happen. The collector is connected to the supply voltage VCC via the load resistor RL, which also acts to limit the maximum current flowing through the device. The base supply voltage VB is connected to the base resistor RB, which again is used to limit the maximum base current. So here you see this supply is connected with a resistor because of the limitation of current, and here this VCC is connected with the load resistor, and across this load resistor we take our output voltage, and this is also for the limitation of the collector current. So this is basically this is the configuration of, if you see, this is the configuration of common emitter amplifier. In the last one we have seen the common base configuration, and here we are seeing the configuration that is the common emitter configuration. So in an NPN transistor, it is the movement of negative current charges, electrons, through the base region that constitutes the transistor action. Now see here. Here you see that this negative terminal is connected with the emitter, and emitter is used to supply the charges, and as this is negative, so emitter is, and that's what we are saying here. So in NPN transistor, it is the movement of negative current carriers, that is the electrons, through the base region that constitutes current action. Now what is meant by the current action? It means that what we want to use the transistor in which one way, that as we have seen that a transistor may be used as an amplifier or it may be used as a switch. So here we decide for what purpose that we are using the transistor. Now since these mobile electrons provide the link between the collector and the emitter circuit, why the link between the collector and the emitter circuit? Because basically the emitter that is used to provide the charges, the base, it controls those charges, and then it provided those charges to the collector. So basically base is the link between the emitter and the collector circuit. So this link between the input and the output circuit is the main feature of the transistor action, because the transistor amplifying properties come from the consequent control which the base exerts upon the collector to emitter current. Now here first of all we must know about the transistor action. So transistor can act as an amplifier or it can act as a switch. Now how it can act as an amplifier and how we can operate it like a switch? Basically it depends upon this base which is controlling the current, which is controlling the charges that are coming from the emitter. Now how we can control it? How we can decide it that the transistor will act as an amplifier or the transistor will act as a switch? So for this we will go to the first one figure here. Here I have told you that basically there are the two junctions One is present between emitter base and the other one is present between the collector base. We are discussing here the common base configuration. So let's suppose we say this, that this is the emitter junction and this is the collector junction. Now this junction will decide whether it will work as an amplifier or it will work as a switch. So as here we have seen that this junction is forward biased and this junction is reverse biased. So when the emitter base junction is forward biased and the collector base junction is reverse biased, then the transistor acts as an amplifier. Basically there are the three regions of a transistor to work. First one is the cutoff region, second one is the saturation region, and third one is the active region. In active region, the transistor, it acts as an amplifier, it works as an amplifier, and in active region we have the emitter base junction is forward biased and the collector base junction is reverse biased, and in this region the transistor, it acts as an amplifier. Now comes towards the switch, when it will work as an on switch and when it will work as off switch. So when we say about the cutoff region, then in the cutoff region the emitter base junction is reverse biased as well as the collector base junction is reverse biased. That both the junction will be reverse biased, that region will be the cutoff region. And as you see that both regions are reverse biased, then it means there is no flow of current. When there is no flow of current, then it means here the transistor is working as an off switch. Now if both the junction, this emitter base junction and this collector base junction, if both the junctions are forward biased, then basically the transistor, it acts as a switch, that is the on switch. So that's how a transistor action occurs with respect to these junctions. It all depends upon these junctions. So here we have discussed about the transistor operating regions, and here we see that basically a transistor have the three regions, operating region. First one is the cutoff, second one is the saturation, and third one is the active region. In cutoff region, the transistor acts as an off switch. In saturation region, the transistor works as an on switch, and in active region, the transistor, it works as an amplifier. So these are the operating regions of a transistor, and that's why we say this, the transistor action, it depends upon the basically the junction, that the two junctions that are present in the transistor, they will decide that whether it will act as an amplifier or it will act as a switch. So the current in a bipolar NPN transistor is the ratio of these two currents, that is IC over IB, that is known as the DC current gain of the device, and given the symbol of HFE or beta. HFE, it is basically the small signal analysis, that's not included in your syllabus. So simply when we are discussing the DC current gain, then it is known as the beta, and here we are discussing the DC current gain, so we say this, it is the beta. And if we discuss about the AC current gain, then we will use the term HFE. So the relationships between alpha and beta. So first of all, what is the alpha, what is beta? So remember it from your previous lecture, that alpha is equal to IC over IE, while beta is equal to IC over IB. So DC current gain here, if we see our figure, so DC current gain, that is equal to output current over input current, and output current is IC and input current is IB. Here in this figure, the input current is IB and the output current is IC. So that is equal to IC over IB, and that is equal to beta. And alpha is equal to IC over IE, and similarly IE is equal to IB plus IC. From here we can have the value of IB. So IB is equal to IE minus IC. By putting the value of IC here, that is IC is equal to alpha IE. So beta is equal to alpha over 1 minus alpha, and this is the same relation that we have discussed in the previous lecture, but here we are having the complete derivation of it. So by simply seeing it, you can solve it by yourself. So one more thing that we say this here, you see here in this case alpha is equal to IC over IE, and we say that the base current is very small in the amount, so it is approximately equal to 0. That's why IC is approximately equal to IC. So alpha is equal to, we may write it IC, that is equal to IE. So IE divided by IE, that is equal to 1. So alpha may be equal to 1, it may be equal to unity or the less than unity, and that's what is explaining here. So similarly, as we have the value of alpha, then we can get the value of beta as well as, and if alpha is equal to 0.99, so beta will be equal to 99. So these gives us the relationship between alpha and beta. So some major points here, and one of the most important property of the bipolar junction transistor is that a small base current can control a much larger collector current. And one more thing, that the bipolar NPN transistor, the collector voltage VC must be greater and positive with respect to the emitter voltage, that is the VE, to allow the current to flow through the transistor between the collector emitter junction. Also there is a voltage drop between the base and the emitter terminal is about 0.7 volt, that is the one diode voltage drop, that is the threshold voltage for silicon diodes, as the input characteristics of an NPN transistor also are of a forward biased diode. These are all the things that we have mentioned earlier. Then when we say about the base voltage, that is VB, and as we said that it must be equal to 0.7 if silicon diode is, and that must be equal to 0.3 if it is the germanium diode. So VB of a NPN transistor must be greater than this 0.7 volt, otherwise the transistor will not work. And what will be the value of IB? IB is equal to VB minus VBE over RB. And how we get the value of this IB? By applying the KVL here. So simply apply the KVL at this side. You will get the value of IB, and that is equal to the, IB is equal to VB minus VBE divided by RP, where IB is the base current, VB is the base biasing voltage, VB is the base emitter voltage drop, and that is known to us, that is the 0.7 volt, and RB is the base input resistance. By increasing the base current, VB slowly increases to 0.7 volt, but IC rises exponentially. So when a very small change in the base current, then there is a very large amount of change in the current of collector, that is very large amount of collector current changes. So this was all about the NPN transistor. Now we will see the PNP transistor. So first of all, PNP transistor, it is also used for the purpose of switching as well as for the purpose of amplification, and it is exactly the opposite of the NPN transistor. So basically in this type of transistor construction, the two diodes are reversed with respect to the NPN type, giving a positive negative positive type of configuration, because P and P is here, with the arrow which also defines the emitter terminal, this time pointing inwards the transistor symbol. You have seen in the NPN transistor that the current is coming out from the transistor, and in case of PNP transistor, the current is going into the transistor. So that is the major difference between NPN and PNP transistor. All the polarities for a PNP transistor are reversed, which means that it sinks current into its base as opposed to the NPN transistor, which sources current through its base. What does this mean? We will see the circuit here, and by seeing that we can understand it very easily. The main difference between the two types of the transistor is that holes are the more important carriers for PNP transistor, whereas the electrons are the important carriers for the NPN transistor. Now why so? Because in case of NPN transistor, N, that is for the emitter, means emitter is giving us the electrons. So in NPN transistor, the main current carriers are the electrons. Now in the case of PNP, here the emitter is positive, and when it is positive, it means holes are flowing in it. So In PNP, the holes flow. There is the current because of the holes. So this is the major and very big difference between the NPN and PNP transistor. And because of this property, we say this the transistor as a BJT, bipolar junction transistor. Why so? Because there in the transistors current flow because of the two types of two charge carriers. One is the hole and the other one is the electron. So the PNP transistor, it uses a very small base current and a negative base voltage to control a much larger emitter collector current. In other words, for a PNP transistor, the emitter is more positive with respect to the base and also with respect to the collector. Now here we see all these things. Now you see this is the PNP transistor configuration. Here the emitter is positive, the base is negative and the collector is positive. As the emitter is providing all the carriers in this circuit, that's why it is more positive than that of the collector and the base. Base is actually negative, so emitter is positive. Here emitter is positive as well as the collector is positive, but this emitter is more positive than that of the collector. Why so? Because it is giving all the charges that are supplied to this circuit. So and here you see the emitter base junction, that is the VBE. Here this is forward biased, and here the collector base junction, that is VCB, that is reverse biased. So again, by seeing this figure, we come to know that it is basically we are using here as an amplifier. And here it is the symbol of the PNP transistor where the current is going into the transistor. All other symbol is the same, but simply one thing is this: the current is going towards the transistor, and this is the main difference between the NPN and the PNP transistor. And as usual, IE is equal to IC plus IB plus IC, and from here you can get the value of IC, that is equal to IE minus IE. And note here that the arrow defines the emitter and conventional current flow in for a PNP transistor. The construction and the terminal voltages for an NPN transistor for the PNP transistor are shown above. The PNP transistor have very similar characteristics to that of the NPN transistor, except that the polarities of the current and the voltage directions are reversed for any one of the possible three configurations looked at the first tutorial, that was about the different configurations of the transistor, that was the common base, common emitter and common collector. So one correction here I must do, that is the PNP transistor. Now here you see that there is the VCC, that is between the emitter and the collector, and here is the VB, base voltage, that is between the base and the emitter, and here the current is going into the transistor, so it is basically the PNP transistor. So the voltage between the base and emitter, that is VB, is now negative at the base and positive at the emitter, because for a PNP transistor the base terminal is always biased negative with respect to the emitter, because the emitter is positive and the base is negative. That's why we say this, at the base terminal this VB is negative in this case. Now all these things are the same that you have studied in the NPN transistor, so simply I am reading this out. Also the emitter supply voltage is positive with respect to the collector VC. So for a PNP transistor to conduct, the emitter is always more positive with respect to the both base and the collector. The voltage sources are connected to a PNP transistor as shown. This time the emitter is connected to the supply voltage VCC with the load resistor RL, which limits the maximum current flowing through the device connected to the collector terminal. The base voltage VB, which is biased negative with respect to the emitter and is connected to the base resistor RB, which again is used to limit the maximum base current. So here we are having the current relation, that IC is equal to IE minus IB. It comes from IE is equal to IB plus IC, and IC is equal to beta IB and IB is equal to IC over beta. From these relations we can get the values of this. So we can see that the fundamental difference between the NPN transistor and PNP transistor is the proper biasing of the transistor junctions, as the current directions and the voltage polarities are always opposite to each other. So for the circuit above, IC is equal to IE minus IB, as current must leave the base. That's why the negative sign here. Generally, the PNP transistor can replace NPN transistor in most electronic circuits. The only difference is the polarities of the voltage and the direction of the current flow. The same thing that has been mentioned in the above slide. PNP transistor can also be used as the switching devices. Now here is the identifying the PNP and NPN transistor, and these slides are basically for yourself, that read it and also do it in your lab, and then identify whether it is the PNP transistor or the NPN transistor. Simply I am giving you one hint, that it depends upon the resistance. You will simply see the which one junction is forward biased and then which one is reverse biased, then what will be the resistance between those junctions. So this will you will do by yourself. And this was all about the NPN and PNP transistors. Regarding this, if you have any question, any query, then you can discuss it with me during the question answer session. In this tutorial, we have also discussed about the operating regions of the transistors, as well as we have also discussed this, how these regions can work when the transistor acts as an amplifier and when it will act as a switch. We have discussed in this NPN and PNP transistors. So if you have question regarding these topics also, then you can ask it with me. Thank you.